Sorcerers! Josh here. What did you do? What happened? We all knew that the ring was a good card, and Zalem came along and confirmed it in one of his videos. But all of a sudden this morning, we've seen, that big price rise. We went from, I think it was like anywhere between $18 to $25, and then all of a sudden it was $50, and then $60. And then this morning, I looked at TCG Player, and it was gone. There were no rings available. They were gone. I'm like, well, that's weird. So I dropped that in to a couple of the Discords, like, what's going on? And then once that went out, a few people posted. As of this moment, the cheapest ring on TCG Player is $130. I don't know if that price is going to hold. I don't know if that card is worth that much. But I am going to tell you this. If you have a ring already, that's all you need to play. That's it. One ring. I'm the type of guy, I like to have multiple copies of any given card so that I'm not swapping it in and out of decks. But if you've got one copy of the ring, my recommendation right now is you got one copy. That's all you need to play. Swap that baby around. Because I don't know if $130 is going to hold. Because we all have to remember, this is the new set for a year. Even if Wave 2 isn't as big as we think it may be here in the US or elsewhere, even if, it's all been pre-sold and all that type of thing and not much comes to the market, there's still going to be more waves. Wave, who knows, 5 waves, 10 waves, we don't know. It's a whole year. And Ars Curiosa has proven that if there seems to be a product crunch like there was with Beta, they're okay with doing a reprint. So, is Ring gonna hold at $130 or go even higher? I don't think so. It may end up at $200. I don't think so, but it may. So I just want to tell everyone right now that if you are thinking about getting a ring at these prices, if you've already got one, I would just hold off. Very early days, markets are still trying to find a balance. Yes, the card is very, very good. And, some folks are like, it's going to be in every deck I play. But people said that about the Philosopher's Stone too. And we ended up in a place where people weren't putting Philosopher's Stone in every deck, even though some folks were saying that should go in every deck you have. Didn't end up being the case. Now, certainly the ring, because of its functionality, maybe it does belong in every deck. But when I think of some of the decks I've played in the past and how immobile my avatar tends to be, I don't tend to move around a lot, I don't know that the ring suits some of those decks. Now, maybe avatars just in general are going to be more mobile. You're going to see avatars moving around, so it makes sense to give them the ring to let them do that. Or maybe even it makes sense to move them up one space from their starting position just so that you can utilize the ring. Maybe that's the case. But even if it is, $130 for the card right now, real early. I'd be really careful. If you haven't been able to get one and you're involved in, events where you do need a real card, I can understand if you go out and buy one. I can see that. But if you've already got one, I would just maybe wait. Say, I've got the one I need for play. I'm going to wait, see what happens, hope for it to maybe dip. It may not. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know which way it's going to go. And it really depends how ubiquitous it becomes. Is it really in every deck? Is it a card that everyone wants to play with all the time with every single deck that they make? If that's the case, yeah, it could go up. Especially since we are experiencing in Arthurian Legends a very, I don't know, it's very difficult to pull a particular card. Any given unique, and especially any given unique foil, getting a particular card in Arthurian Legends is very difficult because there are so many uniques in the set. So getting a particular unique is very difficult. You know, even if you're opening as much as 2 or 3 cases, getting a particular unique is very difficult. Now, you may get lucky. You open 3 cases, you get 6 rings or something crazy like that. That can certainly happen. But because it is so difficult to pull a ring out of product, you know, I would just hold off and wait and maybe see. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe it goes to the moon and it's a $200 card. There's nothing that can be done about it. It's $200. End of the story. I was talking this morning in Cold Foil Heroes Discord to Steve. Steve said, I just put them up for $90 and they were gone. Gone at $90. Couldn't keep them in hand. $90 gone. How much of that is to do with people, you know, trying to get the cards early because they're going to Sorcery Con, or they've got their first, you know, constructed event with Arthurian Legends coming up in the next few weeks. They need to get their hands on a copy of that card. Is that the spike we're experiencing? I think it probably is. I think that there is just a spike right now. It's new. People have finally, you know, figured out, yeah, this is going to probably be the card of the set. I mean, there's still a possibility something else could creep its head up, but the ring's looking really solid all around. So, final thing. If you want to go out and get a ring, you're rolling some dice, because I just don't know if that $130 price tag is going to hold. We've already seen numerous cards take a big jump, and they've already started to drop. One of the big examples, you know, the Bauer, when it jumped up to $30, I'm like, I don't think Bauer's $30, and we're already back down to 20. Now, maybe it stays at 20. I still feel like Bauer is probably a $10 to $15 card, somewhere in that range. Maybe it stays at 20. That's fine. You know, if that's what people think it's worth, then that's what it's worth. That's what the market's going to pay. Great. But I just don't know if Ring can hold that level over the long term, at least until we get to a point, you know, 12 months down the road. If we get 12 months down the road, Arthurian Legends out of print, well, yeah, then, you know, the price is going to creep up slowly, hopefully, to a higher price. That's what's going to happen. But for right now, if you've got a copy of the ring for yourself to use, I'd be real leery of picking up any more at these prices. I just don't see a lot of upside in the near term. And I think that you may get some buyer's remorse if you go out and you've bought 5 of these because you're like, I always keep 5 decks. I need 5 rings. I think you may have some buyer's remorse, but maybe you won't. Maybe you enjoy the card so much and you don't care. And if you do, that's fantastic. So there it is. And now that we're kind of at the end here, there is one more thing I want to throw out. I just want to mention this. If you don't have a Morgana yet, I'd get a Morgana. The more I read that card, the more I'm like, wait, 3 mana and 3 fire threshold. Okay, 3 fire threshold, that's a little rough, but 3 mana, you get a 3 power creature, and you get to draw 3 cards? And oh, that creature has spellcaster and stealth? That's a really good deal. I've got to think that card, and it is already starting to creep up. Like, it's already starting to move up. And given what we just saw happen with Ring, and given what we've seen happen with some of the other cards, I'm afraid Morgana may see one of those jumps. So, you know, while she's at this under just sub $20 mark, it might be worthwhile to snag one of those for play. At least one for play, right? She may come down just like everything else. But if you need one for play, I'd go out there and I'd try to snag yourself a Morgana right now while you can if you haven't been able to pull one. Other than that, I'll talk to you all later. Keep on contesting the realm. Sorcery Con!